This is the world's most polluted country, which the population is currently 173 million people. That is 3 times the UK. This country is so toxic to the point where even something as simple as water is compared to poison there.
Bangladesh, the most polluted country in the world. It has the worst air quality globally. Breathing in these particles can reduce the life expectancy of its inhabitants by up to 7 years. Every day, 350 tons of garbage are dumped into its rivers, and drinking the water is like
Yo, that's nasty. Look at the water. All the flies.
The noise in the cities is so extreme that many people suffer from permanent hearing loss.
Wait, we're not just talking about cleanliness, we're talking about noise pollution as well. Is their stuff just off the charts, no matter what it is?
The meat consumed here absorbs all the metals in the air, becoming a source of diseases for humans.
Okay, so that's already 3 things. They've listed air pollution, noise pollution, and waste pollution. Jesus.
Today, we're going to witness the damage that
Lord have mercy.
can cause to the planet.
Lord have mercy.
Toxic and polluted country on Earth. We are in Bangladesh, specifically in Dhaka, the most densely populated city on the planet, with areas that can have up to 150,000 inhabitants in 1 square kilometer.
How is the air pollution so bad, though?
Many polluted places around the world.
This is disgusting. I'm not even gonna front. Sorry to disrespect your country or be rude about it, but this is disgusting. All respect to all the Bangladeshi people, if that's a word, but
I have never seen anything
nasty.
like this.
Look at this.
Here, the entire
this is a town center.
Contaminated. The most shocking part is that what is visible to the naked eye is not the most dangerous.
I can't even imagine the smell.
The least of the problems.
I'm smelling it through the screen.
Is the toxic chemicals in the water and the particles in the air. What's in the air? Breathing in the city, you can feel something dense entering through your nose.
This isn't fair. I mean, just take a look at this on screen. Meanwhile, in the UK, if your car isn't made past 2016, we're not even allowed to drive it. How is that fair? Some people had to sell their cars that were from 2016. Meanwhile, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. That makes me question, is ULEZ a money-making scheme or are they doing it for the environment? That makes me question. Because whilst we have countries like this,
smoke,
they can't be helping the environment.
That's in the air from heavy metals, dust, and all the pollution. Here are the highest levels of air pollution in the world. They are 15 times worse than those recommended by the World Health Organization.
15 times crazy.
It is estimated that breathing for 1 day in this city is equivalent to smoking about 25 cigarettes.
Holy shit!
Places like these, there are no precise studies, but it could be equivalent to 40 or 50.
That is actually genuinely crazy. I wonder what the life expectancy here is. Just breathing is equivalent to 25 cigarettes. Smoking 25 cigarettes just from breathing.
Your nose starts to hurt from how dense the air is. I want to see if you yourself.
So why don't they do anything about it? Why are they all just chill with what's going on?
Which can no longer be clearly seen at the very end. That is the smoke mixed with
why are they not trying to like
everything
fix
that
things?
I'm talking about. That's what we are breathing right now. The particles in the air are 30 times finer than a human hair and are loaded with heavy metals such as arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, and more. The old, poorly maintained engines running in the city also contribute to the pollution, emitting hydrocarbons, black carbon, sulfur dioxide, and other pollutants. These particles...
I mean, but just look at these vehicles, though. They were made in the 1900s. I mean, look at them. They need to be put to bed.
Penetrate the lungs and enter the bloodstream, causing respiratory, cardiovascular, and even cancer diseases. Studies indicate that the inhabitants of Dhaka live on average 7 years less due to pollution. Brick factories are one of the main causes of air pollution in Dhaka.
Okay, brick factories,
It is estimated that 7,000 brick factories across all of Bangladesh produce 23 billion bricks. And to prevent the...
They don't even use safety precautions like masks or anything. Like when you got to think about it, when they're making bricks, there must be a lot of dust kicking up into the air. And they don't have any safety precautions. I can't even imagine if you was to fly out from the UK to Bangladesh and live there for a year and come back and see how your health has been detrimental. I think it would be crazy.
Authorities from
genuinely, I think it would be crazy.
It is said that they bribe them to avoid any type of regulation. As a result, these massive kilns burn wood, coal, and other fuels to produce bricks. And as you can see, everything goes directly into the air without any type of filter. They are responsible for roughly 60% of the air pollution in Dhaka. This also affects the food people consume. Meat sold in open-air markets absorbs all the particles in the air. Vendors wash the meat with water contaminated with arsenic and other chemicals.
I don't know if I'm about to be stupid or sound really stupid, but I didn't know air could contain chemicals. So I've actually learned something new today.
Additionally, the lack of refrigeration encourages the growth of bacteria like salmonella, while flies deposit bacteria and
But then again, if we just take a look at this image alone, air cannot be the biggest problem food related. I mean, there's literally flies. And then if we go back 5 seconds, he's cutting this with his bare hands, which, I mean, I guess that's not the biggest problem, but maybe just if you take a look down, he's got his bare feet out and he's standing almost near the meat. Just with his bare feet. I wouldn't say air is the biggest problem here.
encourages the growth of bacteria like salmonella, while flies deposit bacteria and parasites. The high temperatures make
I
the
want
meat
to throw
spoil
up right
quickly,
now.
generating toxins. This leads to food poisoning and severe gastrointestinal infections in people.
And they carry on to
I
eat
have
this
never
even with
seen
all the
anything
flies
like this
and all
in my
that.
life. The butcher shop is an entire meat market right next to the train tracks and in the middle of
What?
traffic.
And everyone's just walking over the food.
Unbelievable. Here is the butcher shop. Here is the market. And
they're
right
just
in
walking
front
on the
of it
train
are the
tracks as
metal
well.
bars
What is
that
this?
separate it from the train tracks.
What is this? What am I watching? This is low-key sad. Not even low-key, this is
People on
high-key
top
sad.
of the train.
People
And
on
here is
top of the
something I
train.
hadn't seen. There are people who don't move when the train passes.
What the
Who
hell?
are working in the middle of the track. This can't be.
I mean, do they just have no sort of regulations here or something? What's going on? They're on the train track. Do they have a death wish?
Look, I can almost touch it. Once the train passes, everything goes back to normal, and those who can't get a space off the tracks, they are installed on the tracks. There are people on the train tracks.
Oh my
doing
god, they're even
business,
selling
and
food
they
on the
don't
train
even move
tracks.
when the train passes. One of the biggest problems that has occurred, it's the contamination of drinking water, not the river, the drinking water, the piped water. It turns out that in the 1970s and 80s, they drilled hundreds of thousands of wells to avoid surface contamination. So, they dug wells and realized much later that approximately 20% of all the wells were contaminated with arsenic, a mineral that affects the nervous system, causes skin cancer,
Oh
lung
dear.
diseases, and so on. What was initially done with the intention of improving people's quality of life ended up killing thousands.
Oh dear.
And it is said that even now, some few people have no option but to continue using
Oh, that's
these wells.
sad. That's sad.
This is considered the greatest mass poisoning of all time.
That's
The
really
problem with
sad.
the water is so severe that I'm finding that not even the local people drink water from the tap. Unlike in other countries where, when the water is contaminated, the body gets used to it and they can keep drinking. I'm told that very few people do.
That was what I was gonna say. I wonder if they just become immune to it, like with the flies on the food and all of that. I wonder if they just become immune to it and that's why it's okay. But he's just said that the tap water, they can't become immune to it because it's so bad.
Practically only the poorest. They are the ones who have to adapt to taking that poison, which the government takes from the water tap. They filter it, remove the arsenic, the chemicals, and sell it like this. This costs 30 takas, which is about 25 cents of a dollar, around 110 colognes. 18 liters that can even be found on the street. This is how people access better water. If one day you ever feel completely...
Hold on, that's actually pretty a good deal. He just said it was 25 cents for 18 liters. You can't get that in the UK. You can't get that in the UK. If you want 18 liters in the UK, that's at least £5. So for 25 cents, that's like they've actually got a good deal there. They have got a good deal there.
really tangled up, stuck, not knowing how to get into the work.
I think more people would be healthy in the UK if water, 18 liters worth, was 25 cents. We'd have so much more healthy people.
Remember this man fixing it. The city's telephone lines.
Okay, that's crazy.
One of the
Bare
main
hands.
causes of the extreme pollution
crazy.
in this country is that it has one of the worst sewer systems in the world. Between 80 and 90% of all waste falls directly into the river without any treatment. And it is estimated that every day in the rivers of Dhaka, 350 tons of toxic waste. Here we are seeing all the sewage of the city fall All the fecal waste, the feces, urine, and medical waste
Are you
produced
just
by
standing
20
right
million
next to it?
inhabitants fall directly into the river without any treatment. And yet this is not the worst. Bangladesh
So you just standing here with your camera in a pole full of shit and urine? Yuck.
the second largest textile industry in the whole planet. Dhaka is a giant textile factory. And all the chemicals, surfactants, detergents, dyes, and metals they use like lead or chromium all go into the river without treatment. We are in what is supposed to be the cleanest area of all Dhaka, the modern part, where the rich people live, which is said to be a bit more satiated.
So
and where
how do the
government
rich people
cleans
live?
more,
I want to
because
find
there are
out.
embassies and companies. And even so, see how we can find a park. And the most striking thing is that if we approach this pond, which is the largest in all of Southeast Asia, in the past, it was used for a king that lived here to bathe his elephants.
That
we see
is
how
mad.
pipes coming from factories in the city fall here.
That
releasing
is
tubes that
mad. He used a pond to bathe his elephants.
land here.
Shocking.
And see the reactions
That's
that
crazy.
chemicals cause as they mix in the water. Bubbles are coming out of the pond. Maybe you, like me, wonder if there is garbage collection in this city, if the government does anything to clean the city. And yes, it exists. We just saw those responsible for collecting this, for cleaning the city. But it turns out that the culture, the habit of throwing trash on the street is so ingrained in people here that it is impossible to clean it all up. This is just from today. This is only from what has happened today. And here,
And
you
that's
can
all
find,
from today.
I saw a cow's leg. I saw meat that was just thrown out. So that spreads viruses and germs. And also, there are people living in these holes we see behind here.
Okay, so they do have a waste management system, but it's actually the people. It's ingrained in the people to just throw stuff on the floor. They need like a city reset where they just reset all the people and everyone just starts from scratch and just learns new tendencies and new behaviors. And then the city will be clean. Boom, I just sorted it. Boom. Just like that, I just sorted it. I'm a genius. I'm a fucking
I saw
genius.
people coming out who live next
I'm
to
a
one
genius,
of the
bro.
thousands or millions of landfills in the city. The smell emanating from them is unbearable. It makes you want to vomit just walking by here.
No, but for real,
You can
so
see
they're
in
just
very
used to
small
the smell.
businesses, like these little kiosks behind, that there is always trash in front from what people buy. Anyone who buys a bag of bread or some snack eats it and immediately throws it on the ground.
That's
It's part
crazy
of the
to me.
culture.
Yo,
All
he
the
just threw
trash
that
that
bottle
comes
on the
from these small
floor.
shopping centers is simply thrown here in the ditch.
I think they need some like law enforcement. At this point, I need to become the Bangladeshian mayor or president or whatever they have there. They just need some laws enforced. If you litter, okay, you're going to jail. Simple. Litter, you're going to jail. Simple. Done. That's it. Done. I just solved Bangladeshians' waste problem. I just solved it. Here on the Baptiste YouTube channel. I just solved it. That's why you need to sub. I just solved a problem that's been going on for generations. Simply just by that. I'm a genius. I'm telling you.
People take it out of their
I'm a
plates
genius.
so it doesn't bother them there and just throw it in the ditch. It's normal to find the ditches completely covered in the city of so much garbage, but it's okay. Life goes on as normal. Even here alongside, there are sales of fruits, food, and all kinds of products. It's okay. I can't believe that the most sensitive area, the one they should take the most care of, is the worst I've seen of. In fact, it is the largest garbage dump we have found in the city. The riverbank. It doesn't make sense what we are seeing here. This is what a canal in the middle of the city looks like.
Holy
In fact, they don't stop dumping
What's
more
the dog
garbage.
doing though?
It's already just like a public
What's the dog looking
Everything
for?
you see here is trash, covering
That
what
dog's
was
trying to
once
find
a
his
river.
dinner for the night.
And we notice it because right at the very end, there is still a little water running towards the Buriganga River. The most important in Bangladesh. The rivers are just like dumps. People come up and throw away whatever trash they have to dispose of.
Okay, at first I was thinking this was a wealth problem, but the more I actually watched this vid, I was feeling kind of bad. But now I understand, like, I think they're just not as educated as well. But that might also tie into wealth. Maybe they haven't had education, lack of schools, lack of information. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it all does tie down to wealth, but it could also be self-inflicted, because if you know you shouldn't throw it on the floor, why do you carry on to throw it on the floor?
In these kinds of videos, I don't like to exaggerate. I like to tell you the reality of what I'm seeing. There are areas here in Bangladesh where not even a mask can filter the amount of smoke and things in the air. And there are areas like this one where my eyes are watering.
That's
I
what I was
can't
about to
even
say.
see
What
one
about when it goes in your
because of the
eyes?
number of particles in the air. This is one of the most affected by pollution in Bangladesh. What we are seeing is not a channel nor a pipe. This completely black water you see here is the Buriganga River, the most important river in the whole country. He is already biologically dead. It is one of the most polluted in the entire planet. We are going to take a boat to navigate it. Even the traffic on the water is crazy. Look at this ferry leaving alongside us without any
I
kind of
hope you
control.
do not fall into
This
that
other
river.
one, and we are going to move it forward. I don't know if we are going to stop or not.
I don't even think you
This
recover
is
if
one
you
of the
fall in from
most
that river.
important ports in the south of Asia. So there are hundreds of ferries that when they stop, they throw all their garbage into the river. They don't even care for putting it somewhere else. And also, I don't know if you can see what they were telling you because of the sun's reflections, but the water is completely black. It's because the river is biologically
Wait,
dead.
it's actually
That means
black.
there is no life here, no fish. Many years ago, fishermen lived off the fish they caught here. But now, look at this. It's all pollution. Maybe there are some microorganisms around, but nothing that could feed those who lived off the river.
Nah, I don't believe that. There's definitely some like mutated fish. Like a fish out there with like a leg or some shit. Or a fish out there with just, you know, two tails or something. There's definitely some sort of life there. It's just mutilated. Sorry, it's just mutated.
All the fecal waste that reaches the pipes, the sewers, or the city's large canals ends up here. Everything ends up falling here. Chemicals from all untreated factories.
Fish with two
This
heads.
is what they have left. We are discovering that there are people living on the boats. It is a means of work and the only space in the city.
Wait, they live on
have
a
to
boat with
live.
no roof.
So they live their lives here, bathe in this water, which
Oh,
is the only one they have access to,
yo,
and
that's
relieve
sad.
themselves. All here in the river. In the city.
That's sad. They said they bathe in the water. If you're bathing in that water, are you coming out cleaner or are you going out, or after you bathe, are you going to be dirtier? That's like, I'm actually trying to figure out. I think you'd be dirtier surely if you bathe in that water.
Apart from all the pollution we have seen, there is a type of pollution. What is invisible pollution? You might already be hearing
Traffic.
it. It's pollution. Acoustics.
Okay, noise
levels
pollution.
so high that they cause progressive and irreversible damage to the ears.
Why are they always beeping?
also
Anytime I
keep
see a
people
clip of
at-
like Bangladesh, they're always just beeping. Like the tuk-tuks, they're always just beeping at each other. Why?
High stress levels. And that can also make them react aggressively in everyday
So
situations.
all the drivers just have road rage
For
or
this
something.
reason, street ear cleaners exist. And they have a lot of work, partly because people think they have earwax, but actually they are hard of hearing. Something very curious and striking is that at first glance, it seems that it no longer affects them.
Is that
It's
just
like they've
tradition?
already
Because that's low-key winding me up. They just keep beeping at each other. Why?
adapted to the pollution. Very few people, like him, can be seen wearing masks, showing they care a bit. A little because of what happens. However, it is estimated that about 270,000 people die each year in
Oh
Bangladesh
shit,
due to pollution.
270.
And almost 50% are children who are the most affected.
That's sad. That's really sad. What I was gonna say was I was driving around for 7 hours today in the UK. I was driving for 7 hours. 7 hours of driving, right? I didn't hear a horn once. Not once. Not once in the whole 7 hours. In fact, not even any time during this week have I heard a horn. This just goes on all day, every day. Why?
Well, my friends, finally with this sunset, truly spectacular on the Buriganga River. Despite the conditions it's in, it's still beautiful to see the sun set from a little boat, calmly sailing on the river. Tell me what you thought of this video. For me, very shocking. Never in my life had I seen the harm we are capable of doing to the planet. And I hope this video helps us. Oh my God, I hadn't noticed there was a ferry behind us. It almost hit us. I still haven't gotten used to the crazy life they live here. We're bumping into the one in front too. God.
And that's just normal
As
to
I
them,
was
just
saying,
crashing into each
I
other.
hope this helps us appreciate
Crazy.
and take even better care of our country. Our place, let's make sure this doesn't happen to us. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah, guys, comment down below. What do you think of this? What is your opinions? I mean, I feel bad because I know that it's due to, number one, wealth, and it's due to lack of knowledge. But as I said before, the lack of knowledge could be because the lack of wealth, right? Because they don't have proper education. It's very sad for the planet what we're doing. But guys, if you enjoyed this video and my reaction, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any further vids.